Good day, everyone. This video is a follow from what I did at IACA, mostly pertaining to pulling out the incident location, the address in this situation in front of you, rounding down to join it and identify your risky streets. If it's a Pareto principle, 80-20, the streets that a smaller subset of streets that account for a majority of crime, be it whatever crime type you're looking at, or all in general. With that, I was on Twitter this morning and saw a posting about a text feature formula that was added so we can do text before and after. So with that, it makes life a lot easier than doing text to columns, extracting them out, rounding, and then joining it all back via concatenation or the autofill function or flash fill to it. With that, I'll show you kind of quickly and briefly how to do it all. You can still do the pivot tables and identify some of your riskier streets or high count streets itself. So I'm going to insert a few columns. I'm going to start with 3 of them just to make it easier, and this is going to be our number. This is going to be the street, and this eventually will be our full 100 block address. Now I will have to add another one, but I'm just kind of showing you because I can delete after a while. So with this text, you can see it already pop up. You have text after and before, so I want the before in this situation. I want the first one. So text before, identify the text. So the data set is still Little Rock, Arkansas, crime incident data from their data portal 2017 to present, so quite a few, about 86,000 rows. I'm selecting the text of the incident location. What's the delimiter here? It's a space between the number and actual street. So open quote, put a space in that, close it off, and then close off the paran. We have the number here. Double click to go all the way down. We're good to go there. Similar to we did the text before, we also had the text after, so we can grab that street. What I should do to make sure, and this is where I ran into an issue the first time I did this, and this is a general field. All I did was change it to text just to make sure when I extract it out, it's pulling when I have, say, 2600 West 65th Street, grabbing that 65 in there. When I did it before, it did not pull that over, so I just had the abbreviation at the end, 100th kind of thing, to where that was an issue. So this is the second time I've done the video based on that learning. So text after now, so typing text after, and it's still that same incident location. Still need that space to identify where you want that to split after, so it's going to grab everything after that first space. Pretty easy when we just do it that way. You can do it a couple different ways if we're in it instance number, so you can do it after the second one, the third one, the fourth one, if you have other data. For me, I'm just using addresses as the example, so we're good to go there. You can go all the way down with that. In the spot check, it did grab the 65, so I know that's actually functioning well. The big part now is I need to round down the number, so I'm just going to insert one next to the number, round down, and I have a new keyboard, so I'm still getting used to how touchy it is on certain letters, U being one of them. So I use the round down, click on the number that I want to be rounded down, the number of digit I want at the 100 block, so -2 there. We're good to go, and we have 15,600. Double click this down, and you can see as you go across, we're good to go on all of those. Now to make this easier, since we've used formulas in each one of these, you can see in the formula bar what we've been using. I go ahead and just copy these 3 and paste as values themselves, so it gets rid of the underlying formula. I'm happy with the data itself. Now I'll show a couple different ways so you can join this data. So what I've shown before is concat, which is concatenation. You would take your rounded address, followed by a space between quotations, then the street, close it off, and you're good to go. You could do this all the way down, and you're fine with it. When I show it this way, some people know of the shortcut, and this is what I didn't expect, especially when I did concat or text to columns, and you had 6 different columns that Excel would pick up on this pattern itself. If you started typing what you were doing, so I'm combining the 2 rows, Excel can pick that up pretty quickly since it's the 2 columns to the left of it. With that, you can see I did 4500 Rosswood Drive, followed by 0 Nandia Circle, and then behind it you can see what it's trying to do and pick up what you're trying to do. The only issue is when you see this, if I come down to the autofill, and this is where it actually poked out or showed itself, The 65th is actually not coming across, so you have the TH without the actual number ahead of it. So let me see if I can get around it with the concatenation function. I thought it was just the text. So concat space drive, the circle here, send that all the way down, and it actually did pull it across in this instance. It's one of those things, it's trial and error. You don't see it until when I made a pivot table, but pay attention to little things like that when you're trying new formulas itself. Again, since I used concatenation, I'm going to copy and paste these as values. At this point, I don't need the number, I don't need the round down or street, so I can highlight, right click, and delete on these. And now if you want to get into the habit of making a pivot table, I don't know why it's not going all the way down right now. Let's see, there we go. Hop up to insert once you highlight your data set, pivot table, throw that in as the 100 block address as your rows. Everything in this data set has an incident number, so we know that. We're going to have a lot of NAs in here, so that's fine. Click on the count, go by sort, largest to smallest. You can see we have some up here that are just NAs, to be expected, followed by our highest, and this is incidents overall from 2017 to current. If you wanted to go offense specific, you can add slicers, or if you just put a filter in, and you want to select, say, just some of your violent areas. So I'm going to select violent crimes. So I want to select multiple, ag assault, or murder, rape, and robbery. Click on these, and we can see that 5000 West 65th Street is our highest street when we have an actual full address information on it. So we're good to go. That gives us a nice talking point with it. You can see if we went all the way to the down, or shortcut controlled down arrow, we have 19,326 violent crimes. Those 19,000 violent crimes are spread across just 4,800 street segments. So we already know there's some overlap clustering on specific street segments based on the number of streets being less than the total number of crimes. Keep in mind that Little Rock only has about 11,000 to 12,000 streets total. So even knowing that, we know it's a subset of streets that have violence on them. And then even within that, it's a subset that has a lion's share, a majority of the violence on them themselves. With that, try to make this a quick how-to. Let me know if you have any questions on it. It's new to me. Take care.